Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a small but very practical DIY project. I'm going to build a simple USB load completely from old, wasted components that I had lying around in my electronics junk box. You know, sometimes you really need a USB load. If you're checking power banks, if you're testing chargers, if you're diagnosing weird USB cables, a small USB load is super helpful. I had one that I used for a long time, worked great, but of course, during testing of a damaged charger, it died. Burned out. Rest in peace, little USB load. So instead of waiting for a new one from AliExpress for 2 weeks, I thought, why not make one myself? I have parts, somewhere, probably. So the idea was simple. Use an old cut-off Xiaomi 1's charger cable, you know, one of those cables that's too short and too damaged to trust for real use, but perfect for DIY torture projects. For the load itself, I grabbed 2 resistors. 5 ohms, 5 watt each. At least that's what I thought. But when I soldered everything and started testing, the load wasn't behaving right. Voltage was dropping weirdly, current too low. Something didn't match the idea. Turns out, classic DIY moment, one of the resistors was not 5 ohm but 1 kilo ohm. So I had to undo everything and basically start from scratch. Trying to add an LED. Also, in the beginning I thought, let's make it a bit fancy, let's add a small LED indicator so when load is active I see it visibly. Well, the idea was good, the wiring was not. I connected it wrong, the LED didn't survive, and I didn't have another identical one. So that little bonus feature ended its life before the project even properly started. How the USB load works. The final working version is ultra simple. Inside we just have one 5 ohm resistor, gives about 1 amp load on 5 volts. A simple switch. Second 5 ohm resistor. When the switch is on, the 2 resistors are connected in series, so we get 10 ohms total. That means the load becomes around 0.5 amp. So I can test power banks, chargers, cables in 2 modes. 1 amp and half amp. Nothing complicated, nothing fancy. Just pure old school resistor load. No microcontrollers, no displays, no cooling fans, just hot resistors and hope. Why it was annoying. Even though it's literally 4 parts and a bit of solder, for me it caused a surprising amount of small problems. Wrong resistor. Burned LED. Sometimes honestly it's easier to buy a ready-made USB load tester for a few euros. But you know, DIY life. If you have a box of spare parts, you feel obligated to use them. And in my case, I needed the USB load right now, not in 2 weeks. Final thoughts? In the end, it works, it does exactly what I need. Would I recommend you to build the same thing? Probably not. If you need something accurate or safe, just buy a proper tester. But if you like to play with soldering and have no other option, it's a fun little project. Thank you for your attention. If you like this small repair and DIY episode, like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.